Welcome back to It's Mocap. Today I present to you a 2019 sci-fi suspense drama titled I Am Mother. Spoilers ahead. Be cautious and careful. One day after the event that led to the extinction of humanity, there were 63,000 embryos in a breeding facility, but no humans yet. The main task of the mother robot is to raise new humans, and it is preparing to raise the first humans after the event. She opened the jar of embryos, removed the first embryo and placed it in the gestation chamber. In just 24 hours, the embryos will become babies in the artificial womb. The mother waited patiently and the sounds of bombs rang out from the facility. Once the fetus has developed into a baby, the mother can begin raising the child into adulthood. The next frame of the film shows a child in full development stages. The baby took its first step, laughed and cried, ran and played, all in front of its mother's watchful eyes. The baby quickly turns into a girl and can be seen making origami animals, dancing ballet and putting stickers on robots with mom. One day the child asked the mother why there were no children there, and the mother took him. Go to the embryo room and show her the other siblings. 13,867 days after the relocation event, the facility now has one resident. The daughter is already in her teens. She wakes up and watches some videos on her tablet while eating breakfast. The mother came in and her arm began to misbehave, so the daughter insisted on having a look. The daughter repaired her mother's damaged arm without any problems. Later, the daughter gets excited about ballet practice and is late with her mother for morals class. The robot asks her to solve a complex hypothetical situation, but the girl is distracted by her thoughts. When she finally has a discussion with her mother about this topic, it becomes clear that her mother's main focus in her education is the concept of humanity and survival. A mother is worried about how she answers this particular question because her daughter has an important exam that will reveal the consequences of her parenting. Daughter had trouble sleeping that night, so she watched some videos until the machine lost power. She goes to look for her mother, but soon realizes that she too has lost her power. Then the daughter found a broken electrical wire and heard a mouse running around. She set traps and was able to use her powers to solve the case. While waiting for the electricity to be fully restored, the daughter caught a mouse. As soon as the power comes on, so does the mother. She finds her daughter and the girl shows the mouse. The animal worried the mother because it could mean the facility's airlock had broken. This means that contamination outside can leak inside, and rats can also be carriers. Despite the daughter's protests, the mother burned the rat, explaining how dangerous the contamination of the plant is not only for her, but also for the embryos. The mother also decontaminated the airlock and quarantined the area. A few days later, they celebrated their daughter's birthday, and her mother gave her a present. At her daughter's birthday dinner, she asked her mother if it was possible that she was wrong about the habitability of the planet. The robot just reminds her that she hasn't done anything wrong so far. That night the daughter heard voices coming from the airlock. She goes to check, and when she sees nothing through the first hatch, her daughter puts on a hazmat suit. She heard voices outside again and, against her better judgment, removed her mask and opened the first hatch. As the daughter approached another hatch, she heard a woman screaming for help and said she had been shot. The daughter quickly grabbed another suit, put it in the airlock, and when she was safely outside, opened it. Suddenly the alarm went off and mom was woken up. A woman goes into an airlock, her daughter tells her to put on a hazmat suit, and the woman tells her not to tell her mother. The daughter agreed, and when the robot arrived, she said she only opened the hatch for a second. Her mother reprimanded her and decided to give her an important test at that time as punishment. In the next shot, the two are in the classroom. The mother brings an hour to pass the exam for her daughter, but she tends to go to other things. Her daughter returned to the airlock and concluded that the woman was unconscious. Digging through her bag, she found a hidden weapon and woke him up. The daughter told her that she would give all the necessary medicine, but they could not stay there. Before the mother returned to the airlock, the daughter managed to hide her in another part of the facility and left the woman there to retrieve the medication. When the mother gathered everything she needed in the infirmary, she found the mask near the airlock. When the daughter heard her mother walking by, she knocked over one of the vials and turned around. The woman takes off the rest of her clothes and frantically searches for her gun as she sees her mother burning the mask in the incinerator. When the daughter returned, the woman chased her, demanded a gun and told her she had seen a robot. The daughter says it's mom, but the woman says that droids like her mom were the ones who hurt her. Meanwhile, the mother notices that her daughter is not passing the exam and comes to look for her. The woman heard him coming and grabbed her gun, as did her daughter, yelling for the robot. The mother rushed to them and the woman shot her as soon as she entered the room. However, before she could do any serious damage, her mother rushed to her and promptly incapacitated her. The daughter begged him not to kill the woman and said she needed their help because she was injured. The mother didn't mind helping the woman. They took him to the hospital, but his mother told him to wait outside. Since the daughter could not hear anything from the hospital, the mother was free to question the woman during the treatment. As the mother continued to speak, the woman refused to apply penicillin to her wound. She said the infection story was a necessary lie to protect her daughter from certain things. The mother tells the woman that her first purpose is to care for humanity, but if she refuses to heal her wounds, the mother cannot make her accept it. She leaves the infirmary as her daughter runs after her and asks about their conversation. Mom puts down the gun and explains her version of the story about the droids. She tells her daughter why she has to lie to protect her from danger outside the facility. In addition, she said that the parameters that control her are different from those of the robots outside. The daughter was having a hard time processing the new information, and she still believed her mother's words that if the woman shot her a few more millimeters, she would destroy her CPU. As the mother was tending to her daughter's wrist wound, she asked if she had mentioned other survivors who could also help her cooperation. The daughter thinks that this woman can listen to her more than her mother. Then she rummaged through her bag, and among the many gadgets she found a book with painted portraits. The daughter flips through the portrait books and finds one particularly interesting. She went to the hospital to speak to the woman and asked her about the people involved. The woman's suspicions about the mother can also be felt in her conversations with her daughter, because she believes that this made her check things and question them. She didn't get wrong. The mother manipulated the girl to do it, and her daughter was just interested in the woman's perceived manipulation. The daughter, when the woman told her all the terrible things the robot did, after talking to the woman, the daughter discovers that her mother has a leprosy. She apologized for letting the woman in without thinking about the consequences. As always, the mother was understanding and allowed her to ask questions about the similarities between her and the other robots. The daughter's questions are like thrusts, but the mother nevertheless avoids them one by one and learns something from her daughter. Eventually, the daughter told her mother that the woman was getting worse. The two visited her, and the mother told the woman that she had waited too long to take penicillin, so now she had to have surgery or the infection would get worse. The woman refused to let her mother touch her, and the daughter volunteered to operate on her. Next, the daughter examines the wound and tells the mother where the bullet was inside the woman. She believed the best way to get the bullet out was to drill and get it out. However, the woman refused anesthesia, which would have caused her excruciating pain. She can barely get past her daughter cleaning her wound. The woman turns her head as the daughter then walks in with the drill, calmly performs the procedure and removes the ball. She then lost her temper and threw up. After that, she gave the woman food, which she almost took down, and then thanked the girl for everything she had done for her. They continue to talk and communicate as mom watches them from a distance. The next day, the daughter is still in the hospital next to the woman. The woman looked at the portraits, and the daughter took this as an opportunity to tell her that if she shared their location with the survivors, they could house the survivors in the facility. She trusts girls, but not robots, and tells her that anything she tells about humans, her daughter must keep it a secret. When the girl agreed, the woman told about the mining camp where she spent most of her life. She then tells him that she came to escape the robot that killed her stepbrother. The daughter asks about the portrait of the boy she saw earlier, and the woman says that he is about her age. The girl insisted that they take the survivors there, but the woman gave her an alternative, telling her to go with the others to the mine, where it would be safer. The mother interrupted their conversation and told her daughter that the woman needed to rest and have tests done. When the couple left the hospital, the mother told her that the bullet that had entered her chest matched the one her daughter had removed from the woman's wound. Robots don't use the same type of weapon, so the mother may have good reason to think the woman may have been shot by another person. The daughter was disturbed by this news, but still refused to reveal the lady's secret. The important exams my daughter is taking involve psychological and moral issues, testing her judgment and level of empathy. Meanwhile, the mother checks the woman's belongings and activates the locator, which she will put back in the bag. The last two aspects of the exam are the physical exam and the medical exam. After finishing, the mother told her daughter that her grades were better than ever. As a reward, she allowed her to choose an embryo from the embryos and finally have the sibling she had always wanted. Her mother praised her for the patience and good nature she has shown over the years. The daughter selects a male embryo and places it in the gestation room, which sets a timer for 24 hours until the child is fully formed. Mother and daughter spend quality time together. When her daughter came to meet her at the hospital, the woman immediately made her doubt her mother's claims about the bullet and convinced her to test it herself. Later that evening, the daughter took her mother's injured hand and used it to open the cabinet where the bullets were kept. Comparing side by side, the daughter discovers that the balls are completely different sizes and that her mother lied to her. While still in the pantry, she found a drawer without a label. Inside she found documents labeled embryo number 2. The daughter looked at the container of embryos and realized that she was not the first, but the third child in the batch. The document says the facility was unsuccessful, but the child in the photo looks like the daughter when she was younger. The daughter also checked human remains in the crematorium and found a human jawbone in the ashes. All this information shattered the daughter's world, and she spoke to the woman again and admitted that she was right about everything. The woman tells her daughter that everything she feels is natural and human. Unlike her mother, she doesn't feel anything for her because she can't. This made the daughter ask how long it would take them to get to the mine, as she had already decided to go there with him. However, the girl wanted to wait until her brother was fully pregnant so she could take him with her to the birth. The woman told her they could leave and seek help from the people in the shaft. The next day, the daughter packed her travel items but was discovered by her mother. She lied to her that she brought these things to spend some time with her brother, so the mother took her into the kitchen to show her how to mix his formula. The daughter feels anxious standing next to her mother, who assures her that she will be a good sister. Then she leaves the kitchen and turns on her daughter because she knows what she is planning. The mother went to the hospital to confront the woman. The girl quickly came up with the idea of using the gas to freeze the glass and then shatter it. Meanwhile, the mother played tapes of the woman's conversations with her daughter to let them know that she was aware of their plans. The mother did not want her daughter to live a miserable life like this woman and refused to let her go. Suddenly, the woman saw an opportunity to attack her and managed to temporarily incapacitate the robot, but she persisted in grabbing him by the throat. Meanwhile, the daughter's attempt to activate the fire alarm attracted the attention of the mother, who freed the woman from her hands. When the robot went to investigate the possibility of a fire, the woman ran away and found her daughter inside the facility's maze. She convinces the girls that if they escape the facility now and get the people in the shaft to help them, they will come back and save the others. They reached the airlock but were quickly spotted by their mother. Seeing her approach, the woman took her daughter hostage and asked her mother to open the door. The mother did not want to harm her daughter, so she agreed to her request and the two finally escaped from prison. Suddenly, the daughter faces the reality of life outside and attacks the woman. She beat her daughter and told her to hide. When they got to their destination, they were immediately followed by a robot, though they hid in the cornfields to avoid being followed. The daughter asked the woman about the cornfield, which she said appeared 6 months ago with another robot. Before that, people could barely breathe. After a long and desolate journey, they end up on a beach with the wreckage of a huge ship and tons of shipping containers. This is the first time my daughter has seen the sea. It wasn't long before she found out that the woman was actually living in a shipping container with a dog. The woman admitted that she ran away from the mine years ago because the people who lived there started killing each other when hunger struck. She told her daughter that it was hopeless to find them because they were all crazy. The daughter is shaken by the fall of a woman out of her life and sad to leave her brother. Despite the woman's efforts to convince her to stay, her daughter eventually left her and returned to the facility alone. When she arrived at the facility, the robot guarding the facility pointed a gun directly at her heart. But when the daughter asked to speak to the mother, they let her out without any problems. The door opens to let her in and she immediately disables it to keep the robot out. The daughter grabbed the axe and started looking for her mother when she heard her brother crying, and the mother said she was glad to be home safe. As the girl looked at the mother and child, she decided she wanted to take a closer look. The mother allowed her to come closer, but left the axe. The daughter continues to let her guard while the mother explains her purpose and the purpose of the room. The robot tells her that her goal is to become a better person, superior to those who destroyed the planet and herself. The daughter asks to hug her brother and turn to her mother before finally dropping the axe as if she has decided what to do next. Her mother called her perfect, and her daughter questioned how she treated other children before her. She hugged her baby too close and headed for her. When other robots began to break the airlock, she entered another room and picked up the gun. The mother also tried to break out the door when her daughter appeared in front of her with a gun and told the others to leave. The robot explained that she is no different from other robots and machines on Earth. They are all mother, a single consciousness with innumerable bodies. The daughter puts the gun down and realizes that the mother killed all the others. Her mother gave her the choice to stay with her to raise her brother or leave the shelter alone. Her daughter gave her a third chance, namely to take care of him herself, to do what she had done since childhood. The daughter asked her mother to have the opportunity to show her ability to show her, and the robots stopped breaking the airlock. Mother told her daughter how to ban her and she said she would no longer need her. The daughter broke down and cried, carrying all humanity on her back. Meanwhile, the woman found the tracker in her bag and her mother showed up at her house with one of her robots. She told the woman she had achieved her goal, implying that she was one of the babies born before her daughter. In the final moments of the film, the daughter sings to her brother before checking on the other siblings in the embryo room.